Hi, everybody. My name is Rita Crompton, and I am here for you on behalf of Archimedes Offspring. I am the president and CEO of Archimedes Offspring, and I've got a new song for you. Jingle bells, jingle bells, scammers smell. And I know I still can't sing, but I just could not resist the opportunity to go through that little ditty with you. It is no fun to get scammed, and it's everywhere. This time of year, after the holidays, Lordy, next time they'll get you for something else. So, yes, getting scammed stinks. I talk to so many inventors who feel like they've been taken advantage of. And I don't know if scam might be a little bit too strong a word in some instances, but when it hits your pocketbook and it makes you angry, then okay, you can call it whatever you want. But being taken advantage of financially is not any fun. And especially then when it leads to your product or your intellectual property. So what do? Be careful. When someone sends you an invoice, ask them what it's for. They should have told you ahead of time. All right. It's one of the things that, just an example, what I do with the attorneys. They had better tell me what that invoice is going to look like before it gets sent to you, so we have the opportunity to ask questions, and there shouldn't be any invoices coming to you that you weren't expecting. All right. And when you hire an attorney, you ask, what is this going to run me? All right. What am I getting for it? Then the next way to protect yourself is don't put something in writing you wouldn't want to see on the front page of whatever local newspaper you have in your community. USA Today, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Chicago Tribune, I don't care what it is. If you don't want to see it in print and out there coming back at you, then don't put it in a darn text message or an email. I had a guy, he was complaining about, I have got an example for every inventor's problem out there. Believe me. He was having his prototypes and then his engineering of his product, because he was making and selling them, done locally. And he had then a large company that wanted to license his intellectual property. We had gone to a trade show. He was doing well. It was a very cool idea. And so he sent an email to the company that was making the products here and said that, he had somebody coming in that wanted to see the prototypes, and they were interested in licensing. Well, first of all, he shouldn't have said that they were interested in licensing, but he did. And right away that triggered then a return conversations like, we're not going to show them anything unless we get 30% of the profits. And the guy goes, yeah, right. Well, you know what? That created a trail that said, yes, I am sorry, but you need to understand, sarcasm does not get registered in your email or your text message, even when you attach an emoji to it. So be really careful of that sarcasm, that it does not create now a paper trail that looks like you're agreeing to something. All right, a heads up. If you put it in writing, you need to make sure that it's appropriate. And sometimes, an appropriate response to that would have been, no way in the world. All right, and keep in mind, I have other words I could fill in that blank with, but these are kid-friendly videos. Hi, boys, how are you? My KJ and my Rhett and my Jacob, love you very much. And we get a lot of inventors, young children, high school age kids and grade school age kids who come to our meetings. So I want to make sure that I'm talking to people on an age appropriate basis. Nevertheless, you know how to fill in the blanks with what scammers do and the bad guys out there. So our job here at Archimedes Offspring, is what I'm getting to, is to help. All right. In that mentoring phase, once you go through the vetting process, and as you're going through the vetting process and you say, well, I don't know anybody who can do that. We've got vetted service providers who can do things for you. We know that if this one doesn't give us the right information, because, you're looking for prototyping or engineering, I try to give people, inventors, 2 or 3 options of people I know. All right. People I've vetted and worked with for years, because I want to make sure that you're getting someone you feel comfortable working with. And if that project is not in their sweet spot, we want to be able to move on to somebody else. We want to be able to get you the right person to work with. Now, on the other side of that is that we want to make sure that they're a vetted service provider, because AOS is paying for it. When an inventor tells me, yeah, I paid $30,000 for this and I wasn't expecting it. That's probably, I mean, I understand that it makes you cranky, all right, but you should have known ahead of time. People can give you a price on the scope of work. Use a work for hire agreement. I mean, whether that's what I do, all right, when we're working with inventors and we want to make sure that you're getting a good service provider, we ask upfront, tell us what the scope of the work is going to look like. And by the way, here's a contract for the scope of the work. If you want one, send me an email. Don't put it on the Facebook or the LinkedIn. It'll take me longer to get it back to you. Send me an email and say, I need that copy of work for hire. I give them away free. Also, non-disclosure non-competes. I get people all the time say, well, he signed a non-disclosure. Did he sign the non-compete portion of that? All right. I give these away free. It's a non-disclosure non-compete. Not only will they not tell anyone, they're not going to compete against you either. All right. Kind of important. So there's things that you can do. All right. Will keep you from singing the Jingle Bells Scammers Smell version of our song. And it's just a matter of, applying now some common sense rules. I always sign non-disclosure non-competes. Always. All right. Even when an inventor says, oh, I'll tell you anyway. It's like, no, these are the proper steps. We want to make sure that it's done right. So that's the first step. Then it's a matter of, all right, what's next? Well, go to the Inventor Lady site and read the Inventor's Galaxy Guide. That's going to walk you through those steps so that you know what to expect and you know how to ask for information. Right? I don't want to get an unexpected invoice. I don't want Archimedes getting unexpected invoices. I don't want you to get an unexpected invoice. So the best way to avoid singing that song to yourself and probably filling in some of those blanks with other words, because I've heard them all, is to always ask the questions up front. Inventors ask me, well, if you're my licensing agent, what do I get for that? And I tell them. All right. When I'm taking inventors to the National Hardware Show, and by the way, we're getting teed up for the 2020 National Hardware Show. If you've got a product that you think should be launched at the show, you need to be giving me a call because our spaces are almost half full. All right. And I always tell people when they say, what do I get for that? I break it down. I can tell them exactly what the list is. It's been the same for years. But I tell people, all right, it's your right as paying the invoice to know what that invoice is going to be. Don't want any surprises at all. I would rather say, oh, it wasn't that much than to have it be more. But sometimes that happens. The change of scope works. But I always tell the service providers, if the scope of work changes, you need to let me know before you send the invoice and before you do that work because I need to authorize it. Same thing with Archimedes Offspring. So as you're funding forward, we practice certain rules, and I hope you will too because they're good rules to practice. All right. Always ask. Right. And, when somebody says, well, send me some references, I've got some really good ones, but honestly, you need to be careful of that too, because are they going to send you any bad ones? Probably not. But if you dig around, you can find, if they're out there, you can find them. So you always ask. Ask questions are in your favor at this time. All right. You always ask, is there a price associated with it? Ask what it is and ask what it covers. It will help you avoid being caught on that Jingle Bells Scammers Smell song. All right. Now, on the next, moving down that path a little bit, there are so many groups advertising big ads. They come up above Inventor Lady. They come up above Archimedes Offspring. You see them advertising late night. They reek of scam. All right. I'm not going to give you any names. Easy enough to find out who they are. They are listed on the USPTO website. Go and take a look. The United Inventors Association is trying to put together a list that gives you now, not the bad ones, because you can go to the USPTO and see who the really notorious ones are. You can look under Wikipedia under invention promotion companies, and you can see who the really bad ones are. But the United Inventors Association is trying to put together a team and a pool, all right, to when you call and you say, I need someone who does this, that we've got people we can refer you to. Now, we're not going to tell you who the scammers are. We're not going to go down that road, but we can say, here's a good one. All right. And you can connect those dots any way you want to. My name is Rita Crompton. I am active in the United Inventors Association. I started the Inventors Roundtable. I am president and CEO of Archimedes Offspring, your funding mechanism. And I'm the Inventor Lady. So Those are kind of my credentials, and I am happy to answer your questions. Talk to you tomorrow. Be careful of those scammers. Stinks to get scammed.